Project management is quite evolved, and it's been there in our vicinity for decades now. And this is an era where we are introduced to many different kind of terms, different approaches, different best practices, and Prince 2, MSP, etc. And those have been more focused on waterfall model, although that they have managed to lay a very strong and good foundation. But there are different kind of scenarios, different kind of organizations, and different kind of deliveries. So, and of course, waterfall model has certain challenges that can be met, and the challenges are due to the different nature of the organizations and what they are trying to deliver and how they are trying to deliver and what kind of organization structure they have. So I want to introduce three approaches apart from waterfall level. Now, first of all, for that, let's understand what we mean by waterfall. Waterfall model of project delivery is, it has a definite start and a definite end, and there is a flow. It starts and it is just one iteration. Like, it goes from first you plan something, then you initiate, then you deliver, then you close it, implement and close it, and then you have a division or something like that. And then I'm talking a very, very layman's language. I'm not using a lot of project management terms here, just to make you understand, right? So it starts and it ends. Okay, now what that means is you have to be absolutely prepared at the beginning. Your preparation has to be right, and this waterfall model is not very good at absorbing or accommodating to changes in what you are prepared for. There is a design that has been built and that has been given to the implementation team. Now, by that time, if the end user realizes things have changed, or there is a learning curve, and not everybody is well aware, and they, while through the process of project delivery, they want to accommodate more changes to what we are prepared for, at what they had given as an input during the requirement stage, then what the project has been designed for. If it slightly changes, the implementation team faces a lot of issue in bringing in, accommodating those changes in the project delivery, because we are prepared so strongly, for that planning, with time, with effort, with money, with infrastructure, with environment, with scope, everything. So that is a challenge that a style of project management tries to address is Agile. What is Agile? By literal meaning, you would say that Agile is, it better accommodates changing requirements. So Agile talks about, it's a kind of a project delivery where you believe in delivering value rather than a product. Okay, now of course you deliver product in that, but the concept talks about the end goal is about in terms of delivering value rather than delivering products. So how that works is, the whole project is, when we say that, oh, we are Agile project delivery team, and we don't give sometimes in hybrid models, when you're shifting from waterfall to Agile, people, the project team would say that, oh, I can't give you benefit, I cannot give you timelines, we are not that planned because it's an agility model. No, even Agile models have a plan. They have a start date, they have an end date, they have an end goal, they have benefits to meet, everything. It's just that they're not yet defined, so definitive on the plan. So how they work is, they will first collect requirements like waterfall model, but so Agile introduces a term called user stories. So it's a mechanism of collecting requirements. It's pretty interesting. You should dive into that, or I'll take a video sometime. So they create user stories, and then basis of that they create sprints. So for example, in waterfall model we have phases of delivery, right? Similarly, they divide the whole delivery into sprints, and they plan for just 1 or 2 sprints, that's it. After that, they'll see what comes up, because they will learn from what has been delivered in the first two sprints, and what does this sprint constitute of. So basis on whatever requirements have been captured in the user stories, they will pick certain user stories, and they'll say that user stories talk about value, and then they will say that okay, we will just deliver these user stories in or treat user stories as synonymous to requirements. Okay, in this sprint, okay, we are targeting 5 user stories. Now for that, they will the team will sit and they will analyze that what are the deliverables, the products that we will deliver for that sprint, for those 5 user stories. That's it. There would be 30 user stories or 300 user stories. Out of that, only they'll maybe say pick 5 or 15, for example. Now basis that, they'll create a backlog. So it's a list of deliverables that they have decided now, and then after, they will keep on picking values, deliverables from that backlog, and go on implementing it at the end. So the sprint have to be very short termed. Why? Because they are trying to be agile. All of this is contributing to the reason why agility has prevailed. Try to keep relating, right? So then they keep on delivering. At the end of the sprint, they realize, okay, how much of the backlog has been completed. If they haven't, there would be reasons, and they will transfer it to the next sprint. So there would be new user stories to be targeted in the sprint 2. At the same time, in the time, there could be some deliverables from the previous backlog that goes into the second sprint's backlog. So there is a pool, and then the sprint 2 starts. Okay, now the few other terms that I want to introduce with respect to agile way of delivering projects. How they function is, so in waterfall model, you would have, first there will be there will be a executive team, there would be a design team, there will be an architecture team, and then there will be an implementation team, that ways. But here, stakeholders or team, 1 or 2 team members from each design, implementation, testing, everybody would form a team. Okay, and every day they would have a very small short duration meeting, and they called it as stand-up meeting. So they will stand, and everybody will say, what have I done, what will I be doing till tomorrow, and any challenges, very quickly. So there is a scrum master who kind of only chairs and tries to facilitate such startup meetings, and then these team members will contribute, and they will quickly disperse and get back to work. So that does not have to be very long meetings. That's this complete no-no for stand-up meetings. So certain playbook, some tools and some methodologies that Agile gives, and it's pretty interesting. So that is a hybrid model. Sometimes that's accommodated, because sometimes you are not ready for a waterfall model, and there has to be on-the-go changes. Now this is the other. Okay, let's move away from Agile now. The second aspect that I want to touch upon today is DevOps model. Now this is again a kind of a hybrid kind of model. Now what DevOps tries to address as an issue from waterfall model is that waterfall model talks about a completely two segregated units within an organization. One is a development team which is delivering the projects and change initiatives, while there's an operations team which operates very differently, and there is a brick wall between the two. Right now, this creates a lot of problem, and sometimes many of our organizations are service driven, so we have a very strong and elaborate service team, but projects are inevitable. Now for them, having a proper waterfall model projects have very established practices, or agile practice is in itself a different thing altogether, because that team would be constituting everybody, and I mean it functions very differently. That's why we are going for hybrid. It is very difficult to actually transition. It's not that simple. So similarly in DevOps, I mean it's like setting up a complete project delivery is not the desirable thing and the most the best way of meeting such small projects, and sometimes it's just that the organization is not ready for that, and we have many such examples, many. So because usually product based organizations are more into project management and such established practices, waterfall or agile, things like that. But the service industry is a mix usually, and for example, there's an education industry, and they need IT, a digital team to support that. So they have a small team that should do everything together. So it DevOps works amazingly in such things, such setups. Now what DevOps says is treat it the end to end together. Okay, right from your design team to development to implementation to testing to release to operations to maintenance, end to end. Treat it as one, right? So for example, there is a tool that is used by operations team for releasing products and changes that can be got to given to the development team also now, so that and the approach kind of changes that the development team pushes the releases on the go, while the release team is there as a process team to see that it is happening as per the operations. So with the previous model, when it was all segregated, they had a different kind of setup. They had all their own requirements. The operations team, the development team did all their own sets, and sometimes they had different tools for the same thing, a lot of mismatch. So DevOps talks about culture, values. So DevOps is used when you as a management is trying to establish practices, processes within your multi departmental setup within your organization, right? So what DevOps talks about is first of all, it's about system thinking. So start from development till operations. Development to operations, you're treating it as a simple one flow. Okay, it talks about for example, so the development team has implemented certain changes in their setup, and they have introduced a few more servers, development servers, but that is impacting. They did not consider the database server team, and the database administrators are now facing a problem. It's a negative impact on them, and it was not thought of. So such things, I mean, you are thinking a holistic view, right? Now second aspect of DevOps is about establishing an amplified feedback loop, right? So for example, you are developing something, a software has been developed, an application has been developed, and it's at the development stage. Imagine a bug that's detected at the development stage. How quick, easy, effortless is it? How effective and efficient is it to get the fix there and there, right? Now suppose it has gone to implementation, and then now it has gone to, say, testing team, and then testing team finds the bug. Now going back to the development team, putting it then in their backlog so that they address the bug is such a tedious task. And imagine it is going all the way to applications, and then it is coming back. Now the departments are such segregated that they are taking care of own. Okay, I'm taking care of switches, I'm taking care of servers, I'm taking care of just databases, and then application, I'm concerned about just applications. Now they are not talking to each other that seamlessly. You see that there is a flaw in one say development team, that is impacting a lot to network team, or maybe database team, administrator team. So you see this is development team, and this is operations, first of all. Secondly, very segregated departments. So the feedback mechanism has to be very efficient, effective, amplified. So it has to be first created, then it has to be a quick, short process. So giving feedbacks and implementing on it has to be made quicker. Think of this when as a management team, you're trying to set up processes within your multi-departmental setup. The third aspect of this is about culture of continuous experimentation and learning. Now as engineers, we are problem finders and solvers, and it's difficult for us to get to doing something, implementing it. Of course, we should be experimenting a lot. So it's not about analyzing, oh, this thing is there, oh, this is a problem. This is about building a culture where you are trying changes a lot, you are experimenting a lot, right? So this is about building a culture where you're not sitting and looking for approaches to what could be the problem, and oh, these are the things that we there. It is about promoting, I mean, doing more, right? Or as you've heard, it talks about, we talk about fail fast, or if it hurts, do more. If it hurts, get yourself hurt more, and that's how we build a culture of experimentation and learning, and we improve and we do better, right? So DevOps is, use it when you are creating a team process, when you are creating creating team standards, or when you are deciding what would be your management style within your organization, right? So always think about the whole system. Keep thinking about how can I create more feedback loops, or how to contribute and create an environment of experimentation and learning. That's about DevOps. Right. The third aspect I want to touch today is about Lean Six Sigma. Now, this is again a blend of project management into service operations. So this is a completely data-driven project, and this methodology works magical. And it actually, when you do it, you will understand that the importance of data. And I've done this, and when initially it was actually, it's very tedious to go into so much of data that this methodology focuses on, but it's very logical. And when you actually do them, you get to see why is this system so successful, and why is data so important for this they've got the nerve that data is so important. If there's no data, you don't exist, right? This methodology depends on that, and it's not about, okay, to apply this methodology we have to get to a lot of data. No, this methodology is a logic. It's simple logic which makes all the sense, and it only tries to show you by implementing that in daily use. Even if you're not going to Lean Six Sigma methodology, data is so vital that you should anyways be paying attention to. And that's the reason these systems, these softwares are so much valid these days, are so much promoted, because all this contributes to is giving you actual data than perceptions. And Lean Six Sigma relies a lot on that. So what is this methodology? Very quickly. So it starts with a generator of any project, and it could be as simple as, and it's a very much service industry or operations focused. Again, that's the topic for today, right? So the originator could be something like, you might have heard of voice of customer, VOC, or it could be a voice of business, VOB, or voice of operations, and many other ways. So we have done a survey, and we have found something, so we want to cater to that, something like, I mean, there is an originator, and it could be very vague. From there, the second point is you need to find the problem statement. So what is the problem that this statement is trying to point towards? Then we work towards getting a root cause to that problem state, to that problem. So first of all, from for that problem, we go to our service development team, service operations team, and we try to gather data. For example, there is a problem, and we go to the our ITIL tool and try to find out what are the incidents, which category of incidents should we pick that would point out toward this problem. And then we try to see that what kind of problems have originated that can be categorized under this problem statement. So this is all, these are all the incidents, right? And then we have kind of categorized them, and then we have arranged them in a decreasing order of this kind of problem with respect to this VOC has the majority number of incidents, say. So from there we are more focused now. Then the next stage is about root causes. Root causes is again data driven. So when we find root causes, these could be the root causes for this such an incident. Now if this is a root cause, how many such opportunity do we occur? For example, you have a system where you have a lot of backlog, right? And it's not moving, and it is acting as a bottleneck to your process. So you first realize that how many such are pending and from how many days. You find it from some tool, right? Then you find that such bottlenecks, what are the categories and what are the contributing reasons. Maybe you have put a lot on hold. Maybe the reason is that a team is not functioning properly, so that it lying with one of the teams for a longer time, or there is one section which we are not being able to address, and we thought, oh, it's a minor thing, we are doing a lot more, but actually that is the reason which is contributing to such a huge backlog. So there could be root causes, various root causes. You'll find a data that how many such are contributing to this root, has been contributed by this root cause, how many by this root cause, how many by this root cause. So then there is a 80-20 rule that this focuses on, saying that usually you will see that 80% of the problem is actually contributed by a certain section, or 20% of the root causes. So from there it's very easy to find out, okay, this is the major contributing factor, so we need to focus on just 3-4 more root causes. So you see, it's so logical, and that's the reason I like this so much, and it is so much service driven and project driven at the same time. It's just that we're not vaguely getting into a project and starting to deliver. It is so logical flow, right? Then after root cause, then we do a brainstorming that what could be the solutions, and we can have a colored hat kind of brainstorming, or a fishbone kind of brainstorming, to understand what could be the problem solutions. And then comes implementing a project. So it's so service delivery oriented to see that what could be the root cause and what project should we be running. So this is again another project blend of project and service delivery aspect, and it's pretty interesting, and we should be diving more into this some other time. So we have touched upon some hybridness to waterfall project management today. Hope that helps. Thank you.